Okay, first question about class reps. I think class reps has come so far in the last few years, certainly sitting on the education committee, and they're certainly becoming more empowered, and they're really making a difference, which needs to be built on, not necessarily changed. I think it just needs to be developed. As President for Education and Employability, I would really make your school conveners accountable and make those school conveners that they organise the class reps and really provide the links between different departments and between different courses. Certainly within my department that is really important. Class reps have so much to say, and often in your classes you can overhear certain things that need to be told about your education, that class reps can really provide that role. I think it's about quality over quantity. Certainly I wouldn't think that the number of class reps needs to be changed, and I would also not pledge to know all the answers, but it's about empowering people and having the people with you who do know the answers, like the class reps, that you can then facilitate with. The second one, for job link and volunteering, I think it is also really important to have links with businesses and get them in employability fairs as important as any other fair, really making that link to make employability a priority in our current climate. And the employability committee really want to open that up, make sure there's definitely positions that can open up employability in such an important time.
Thank you very much. Next position is President for Sport. So same thing, 30 seconds per question, 30 seconds thinking time, and there's going to be 3 questions for you guys. How will you encourage all students to get involved in sport in order to encourage a healthier lifestyle? What is a fair trade event, and how is this executed? And why is it important to bridge the gap between the SA and the sports union? I'll read them all out again. How will you encourage all, and they've underlined all with 2 lines, students to get involved in sport in order to encourage a healthier lifestyle? What is a fair trade event, and how is this executed? And why is it important to bridge the gap between the SA and the sports union? If the sports candidates could stand up in a row, and we'll start in about 15 seconds. Sports candidates in a row. Okay, we'll start with Vicky, she's closest.
Okay, so how do I encourage all students to get involved? Well, firstly, like I said, we start the intramural sport for those who have already joined a club who can't play bucks. They're not in the first, second or third teams. Get them involved on a Wednesday anyway. We have the facilities at ASB to start getting involved in disability sport. Why can't we do this? Let's get someone from out with the university to show the disability sports what can be done. Do we do 30 seconds? No. Okay. The fair trade event, we've had a fair trade event at Super Teams. This includes the water run. All we need to do with a fair trade event is to make sure that all the materials are fair trade. This includes all the clothing. Let's make sure we've got water fountains rather than water bottles, and educate the rest of the students as to what a fair trade event is, whether it be the water buckets on someone's head to represent what the people in Africa have to do. Oh, and bridging the gap between this SA and the SU means more representation for you. If you need to come from me, you need to go to the other person.
To encourage more students, as Vicky said, you have to just get everyone involved from the start. It's not about competition all the time, but give it a go. Every club should have a few weeks where people shouldn't have to pay the membership. They should just get to have a go, and the clubs should set up their own games between each other, so they actually have a chance to compete if they want to and get a taster for it. As for the fair trade event, that's a tricky one. Fair trade is equal opportunities to everyone. It doesn't actually have to mean products. I mean, as long as everyone gets a go and they have an equal chance at it. Yes, you can do it with products, everything's fair trade and there's no one left out. To bridge the gap, as I said before, you can have an event that involves everyone. Like Super Teams, but every part of the SA has an event. So the charities can have something, education, equal opportunity and sport. So you all go around and you can try each other's and see how each other works.
Hi, right. Encouraging more people to take up sport. It's fair enough that we've got 50 plus sports clubs out there and they do a lot of advertising in Freshers Week and Refreshers Week. But I think it's more about going to the students and asking what they want to do with their sport. It's like, what sports do they want to do? Year in, year out, I sit at the sports union stand and people come up to me and ask, does this sports club exist? This year, the main one was American football. And all I can say is, no, I'm sorry, it doesn't. You might want to look into setting it up yourself. I think we should offer more help to help people set up sports clubs that we don't have yet. A fair trade event. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know that much about fair trade, other than all the products within a fair trade event should be non-exploitative and everybody should get paid their own fair way. It's important to bridge the gap between the sports union and the Students' Association, mainly because we live so far apart. We're set up in ASV and the Students' Association is over here. I think we should be grouping up more and doing more events together. Torture seems to be the only event where everybody takes part, and I think that's not enough. We need more. Okay, thank you.
Right, promoting participation, we'll start with something to do with the first years. Something like a Give It To Go week can promote them to get involved and see what they like. This doesn't have to be exclusively to first years, of course. You can make it wider, more public, and promote people to get have a feel for sports and what they feel they have to look at, but not really sure if they're going to enjoy. Intramural is also quite important for improving, so that every one of you guys feels like you can get involved in a sport. First year sports day, this idea also ties in with a fair trade event. All of these events, like an egg and spoon race things, can all be done sort of through fair trade means. It doesn't necessarily need to be cost. This also ties in with the thought about working tightly with the student union. Charities and volunteers could be perfectly incorporated into working for this first year sports day to make it cost-free. Next year, obviously, the sports union has a table in Butchart with the sports union, with the student union, so it promotes them getting closer with them. The student union represents us. I, as sports president next year, want to represent you, the sports, and student association represents the. Vote for me. Thank you.
Okay, next group up is welfare. President for Welfare and Equal Opportunity, sorry. The three questions are, which group do you think is most underrepresented and what would you do to improve it? Second question, where do you see that there isn't equal opportunities in the AUSA and how will you change this? And over 300 students in halls signed a petition asking for AUSA to address the state of their accommodation. What do you plan to do to tackle this ongoing serious welfare issue? So I'll read them all again. Can't remember which I started with. Okay. Where do you see that there isn't equal ops in the AUSA and how will you change